Well, you are listening to the right podcast because I have put together a senior shopping guide for the holiday season. Yay! I get asked all the time for ideas, what to buy for senior family members. And of course, there's always like the standard ones that are good gifts anytime, just the ones that we always think of. And I'll mention those on this list. But I have some others that are interesting that I think will be well received by our loved ones and just something a little bit different. Welcome to Aging in Style, the podcast dedicated to celebrating aging and what it takes to do it well. I'm Lori Williams. I'm a certified senior advisor and senior housing expert. In each episode, you'll learn stories of older adults who are thriving in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and in some cases in their hundreds. Whether you're an older adult or the child of an older adult, this podcast is filled with insightful resources, organizations that are doing incredible work, and stories that will inspire you to volunteer, learn, and who knows, maybe even skydive in your golden years. Hi, welcome to Aging in Style. I'm so glad you're here. I know this is such a busy time of year, and you're probably doing your shopping and finding gifts for the family, including your aging family members. And you may have some questions like, what am I going to buy for grandma this year? You know, maybe you always buy her pajamas or slippers, and you're thinking, I'm kind of tired of buying those kind of items. So what would be some other ideas, some other things that I could buy? Well, you are listening to the right podcast because I have put together a senior shopping guide for the holiday season. Yay! I get asked all the time for ideas, what to buy for senior family members. And of course, there's always like the standard ones that are good gifts anytime, just the ones that we always think of. And I'll mention those on this list. But I have some others that are interesting that I think will be well received by our loved ones and just something a little bit different. And they don't have to cost a lot either. I do want to mention that. We do not have to spend a lot of money. A lot of times it's the thought that counts. So let's get started on our Senior Shopping Guide 2022. So of course, self-care type gifts are always well received, and our senior loved ones tend to be cold a lot. And if you visited your grandparents at their home or apartment, odds are it was about 1,000 degrees in there and you're sweating and they're absolutely fine. So that being said, it's always a great gift to give a cozy blanket. Always well received, as well as pajamas, flannel pajamas, robes, and slippers. And you probably get that every year and you're looking to go beyond that, but just know that is always still a good gift to give. As well as socks, like skid-free socks. Just make sure that they have the little kind of like rubber thing on the bottom of them because we always are about preventing falls. Other items that are great are aromatherapy oils. Those have become really popular over the years, along with the diffuser. Those are great because a lot of the different oils will help with, state of mind, relaxation, those kind of things. And so they can also be a safer alternative to an open, lit candle. Lotions and body washes, those are always good gifts, especially, as we get older, our skin can be more sensitive, can be thinner and drier. And so it's always good to have. We also talk a lot on the podcast about dehydration. So it would be a great gift to give some sort of a water glass or, something with their name on it. You can have it customized, a monogram, something that may get them to, drink more water. So maybe, number one grandma, or there's so many things you can do. You can customize, you could put like all the grandkids' pictures on this cup, this water mug. And just, a great way, something she would always have with her. Gift certificates are huge. So gift certificates to a nail salon or just gift certificates in general to like Kroger's, Target, Walmart, where they can go shop and use to buy whatever it is that they want to purchase. A leather journal and pen set for journaling. One that I've talked about this before. I really love the reacher grabber tool. Those are great for all ages. I'm just going to throw it out there. But the reacher grabber tool is that little pinchy thing. So that's great to pick things up off the floor that they can't, get down and pick up. Or in my family, okay, this is a random and weird story, but one year my daughter had one of those at Halloween, one of those little eyeball things. It's like a little toy, and it's kind of like a sticky eyeball. That's what it was. And somehow she shot it up and it stuck to the ceiling in our kitchen. So there's an eyeball stuck on the ceiling. And I couldn't reach it because I'm very short. But I had my pincher grabber tool and I used it to get the eyeball off the ceiling. Please tell me these kind of things happen in your homes too, and not just mine, because my house sometimes feels like it might be sort of a circus. But anyhow, you can use it for all kinds of things. I've actually used mine to get like a sock that was in the washing machine that I couldn't reach because, again, I'm very short and I have a really deep washing machine. But you can use them for anything. These are just some ideas that I personally have used it for. Back scratchers. A lot of older people like back scratchers because sometimes it can be hard to, have the mobility to be able to reach to scratch your back. So there's all kinds of fun little back scratchers out there that you could purchase. Alexa is also a great gift to give because they can play their music through Alexa. And I've talked before on the podcast how you can use Alexa. You can program in your phone number. So if, God forbid, someone fell in the night, they could say, Alexa, call your name and call you, or call 911. Also, books are a great item to give, or especially like a reading light or magnifier if they're having some issues with their vision. A bird feeder is always cool. So you can always give them a bird feeder to hang right outside a window that they can have, just see the cute little birds visiting with some, bird feed also. An easy to care for houseplant, word games, word searches, all those kind of things are, seniors love those. Adult coloring books and the little like pencils, those are great. I know a lot of seniors really enjoy those coloring books. New pair of shoes. I know my grandmother, every year we'd get her a new pair of her SAS shoes, SAS. I wonder if they still make those. I bet they do. Those were her favorite shoes. And they were not cheap, but she loved those shoes. A membership to a local gym or maybe a silver sneakers program. A lot of those are through the YMCA. Oh, I just thought of this, a membership to the senior center. And I know our senior center where I live, it's only $10 a year. So I think most are pretty reasonable, but that would be a great gift to give. And then I know at my senior center, it's like extra for some certain classes, like say like yoga, and say maybe your grandma said she was interested in yoga, you could pay for like 6 weeks, or for an art class, pay that. And they're usually not that expensive. I mean, like $40, $50. A journal with questions pre-written about their past for them to answer. My grandma's been gone over 10 years now, but my mom, when she was moving, she had a box of stuff she gave me. And as I was going through it, I found this book like this with the pre-written questions, and my grandmother had filled it out. Now, sadly, it was all in Spanish because my grandmother's from Ecuador and I don't speak Spanish, so I could not read the answer. So I've given it to my aunt. She's going to translate it so we can see all of her answers. But what an incredible gift. I loved it that I could see her handwriting all these years later. Another thing I was just reading about, I thought this was a really great gift. It's to give experience-based gifts. And these would be like an experience for your senior loved one and yourself or your kids. So a gift card to an ice cream shop to go on a date together to get a scoop of ice cream. I think that is such a clever idea, and how fun. Like, it could come from the grandkids. Like, this is a gift certificate good for Baskin Robbins, and, maybe even like set the date that you're going to go do it. A car ride around the old neighborhood with a stop at a favorite restaurant. That's always so fun to just go back and look at the places where you grew up, where you lived for many years, maybe where they raised their family. I know back in August, I went to visit my brother and his wife, and then my sister-in-law and I went to Baton Rouge, where I grew up, and my husband and I bought our first house there. And so we went like on this tour of all the places I've lived before. And it was so much fun, just reminiscing. And as we drove past different houses where we lived, it just brought back memories, great memories. And, that's really special, especially if you go, say, with your mom and dad, and you're kind of going down memory lane, talking about, places that you used to love to go to breakfast on Sunday mornings, or, things that you did, parks you played at when you were a child. So those things are always fun. Another experience-based idea is coffee and donuts with the family, like on a Sunday morning, maybe even a date to get together to bake cookies, or maybe something, maybe where you teach a grandchild something, like crocheting. My mom taught my daughter how to crochet, and that was a really special bond that they shared. Or, just baking cookies together or reading together. So there's so many fun experience-based things that you could do together. Could also give any kind of a gift. Maybe they're interested in a new hobby. Maybe they're interested in painting. So you could give gift cards, like I said, to a painting class through a senior center, or maybe at a craft store. Like Hobby Lobby has different classes in Michael's. So maybe a class there if there's something new they want to learn how to do. Like, I don't know, I'm just like thinking cake decorating, because I know they always had that at Michael's. So maybe they want to learn cake decorating. So you could pay for that class and maybe give them a gift card to buy the supplies that are needed. So there's just, when you kind of step outside and kind of think of out of the box ideas, there's really no limit, especially when you're thinking about experience type items. All right, I hope this gives you some ideas, and I bet your creativity, you got your mind going now, thinking of all different ideas and things that would really bring great joy to your loved one this holiday season. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your friends and family. And make sure, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thanks so much for listening, and have a wonderful holiday season. Bye-bye.